wage awards to federal workers.
Expert analysis.
One thing Nigeria needs at this particular moment is fiscal discipline. The truth of the matter is that we are more of a consuming nation than a productive nation. And for as much as we have that kind of a situation, our naira will not be strong. There is no miracle about it. I would have expected government to work more on price control.
And the fact that insecurity has actually caused some farmers to stop farming.
Absolutely. Government must have the political will to solve this problem.
Do you think they stand a chance to get any benefit from the federal government?
How will an ordinary Nigerian survive on a daily basis? I think these are the questions we should ask ourselves.
Where audience gets to hear the views on topical issues across national days.
Look, I'm asking myself, are we not sure to be an independent nation? People are solving a lot, but today we are suffering because the government tends to listen to the federal institution by removing fresh subsidies. I'm talking about the Atiku Asiwaju saga. I'm afraid if it is not a pre-election matter, we equally not be surprised if the Supreme Court uses the word lack of merit as incompetent.
Join us every weekday from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. as we serve you the best dose in news. The opinions expressed on this program are those of the speakers and callers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of Omoluwabi Radio 87.7.
Alright, a wonderful morning to you wherever it is you're listening to us from Omoluwabi 87.7 FM. Studio time check, 5 minutes gone past the hour of 7 from the studios of Omoluwabi 87.7 FM, situated in the hills of Mokola in Ibadan. Good morning and welcome on board. It's another beautiful morning to start your day with some fresh news from the Nigerian dailies. We call it News Lens right here on Omoluwabi 87.7 FM. And you know how we do it on the show. We review some of the newspaper headlines and then we give you the opportunity to also air your own opinions as regards to what some of these newspapers are saying this day. All right, without more to do, my name is Omoluwabi Ajiwole and I'm reporting for duty today, the 26th day in the month of July 2024. How are you doing this morning? Trust you good and trust you woke up from the very good side of the bed. Some of us probably are on our way to work already, while some are still at home preparing for work. Wherever it is you are, probably your car, you're in the taxi, or probably you just were with your mobile radio. Wherever it is you are, just make sure you take lead to your radio set at this point because this promises to be an interesting time on radio right here on Omoluwabi 87.7 FM. We are the voice of integrity, the station that brings you the best in news, talk, and of course music. All right, once again, my name is Omoluwabi Ajiwole and I'll be your anchor for the show this morning. All right, this morning we've got 4 newspapers for review. This morning we've got the Nigerian Tribune, the Vanguard newspaper, the Punch, and of course the Nation newspaper this morning. So you know how we do it on the show. We read out the headlines for us right after, which I'll bring my analyst on board to analyze some of the stories with us right on this dial. I'm Omoluwabi 87.7 FM. The program once again is News Lens. All right, I'll be starting off with the Nigerian Tribune this morning with the banner headline on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune saying planned protests. Defense headquarters, DSS, warn against anarchy, identify sponsors. And then the story comes with a lot of riders here saying it's an invitation to anarchy. Reign of terror, that's coming from defense headquarters. Funding of funding lines identified. Okay, that's coming from the DSS. Says plan afoot to hijack protests, caused chaos. Okay, traditional rulers meet with Tinubu, plead for peace, patience, or your Lagos government hold security stakeholders meeting. And then I participated in peaceful protests for democracy. That's coming from the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu there. The full details of that story you can get, for full details of that story rather, you can get the copy of Nigerian Tribune and flip over to page 2 for more information as regards that. Okay. Still from the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning, local government autonomy, teacher salaries better paid by states. That's coming from the NUT. Local government autonomy, teacher salaries better paid by states. That's coming from the Nigerian Union of Teachers there. You can get full details of that story on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Ohaneze Indigbo President Nwayawu dies at 82. Tinubu orders mourn. Or an Eze Ndigbo President Nwayawu dies at 82. Tinubu orders mourn. You can get full details of that story on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. All right, still from the Nigerian Tribune, INEC will take over responsibility to conduct of local government elections if backed by law. INEC will take over responsibility of conduct of local government elections if backed by law. That's coming from the INEC chairman, Yakubu. Okay, you can get full details of that story there on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Okay, Malala Fund. Malala Fund invests $7.8 million in girl child programs in Nigeria. Malala Fund invests $7.8 million in girl child programs in Nigeria. You can get full details of that story on page 25 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Federal government spent $1.5 billion to protect oil installations in 4 years. Federal government spent $1.5 billion to protect oil installations in 4 years. That's coming from the Secretary General of the Government of the Federation. There, that story is on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. And then we have this one still from the Nigerian Tribune saying Nigeria records fastest economic growth in 6 years in Q1 2024. That's coming from the Finance Minister, Edom, saying Nigeria records fastest economy growth in 6 years in Q1 of 2024. Says Tinubu's reform yielding results. And then federal government's main focus is to reduce food prices. Government pays 7.3 trillion naira ways and means debts. Can get full details of that story on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. And we have this one saying 6 workers die as building under construction collapse in Lagos. 6 workers die as building under construction collapses in Lagos. You can get full details of that story on page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Court to hear Edo government suits the challenging tribals reinstatement September 24. Court to hear Edo government suit challenging tribals reinstatement September 24. You can get full details of that story on page 12 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. All right, we have this one. That's all we have from the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Let's check the Punch newspaper this morning. Yeah, the Punch. We have the banner headline here saying Tinubu rallies NSA monarchs as hunger protest looms. Tinubu rallies NSA monarchs as hunger protest looms. Saying President meets APC governors. Oni Sultan, clerics as planned protest gains momentum. Opposition charges Tinubu to address Nigerians. Army DSS alleged plot to force regime change. Okay, you can get full details of that story on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. All right, we have this one saying presidents, governors mourn as Ohaneze leader Nwayawu dies. Okay, President governors mourn as Ohaneze leader Nwayawu dies. That story is on page 17 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And we have this one saying probe National Assembly summons NNPC Dangote over 10 billion naira oil theft. $10 billion oil theft rather. Probe National Assembly summons NNPC Dangote over $10 billion oil theft. Can get full details of that story on page 33 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Okay. This one saying that Tinubu may sign 70,000 naira minimum wage bill next week. Tinubu may sign 70,000 naira minimum wage bill next week. Can get that story on page 34 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And still from the front page of the Punch newspaper, we have this one saying 16-month state-owned schools get student loan approval. 16-month state-owned schools get student loan approval. You can get full details of that story on page 43 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And we have this one saying factional kingmakers oppose fresh Alaafin selection process. Factional kingmakers oppose fresh Alaafin selection process. You can get full details of that story on page 42 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And we have this one saying police stations rape. NGOs condemn peace of investigation. Okay, all right. Police station rape. NGOs condemn pace of investigation rather. Police station rape. NGOs condemn pace of investigation. Can get full details of that story on page 5 of the Punch newspaper this morning. This one says Lagos begin probe as 5 killed in building collapse. Lagos begin probe as 5 killed in building collapse. Can get full details of that story on pages 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And that was all we have from the Punch newspaper this morning. Let's check some other newspapers this morning. We have the Nation newspaper here too, saying with the banner headline talking about the planned protest. Saying planned protest, Defense Headquarters, DSS, puts men operatives on red alerts. Okay, planned protest, Defense Headquarters, DSS, puts men operatives on red alerts. Okay, you can get full details of that story on you can get full details on that story by getting the copy of the Nation newspaper this morning. And then it starts the writer here that's saying planners targets change of government. NSC assures governors of security. Like I said, that story is from the Nation newspaper this morning. And we have this one still from the Nation newspaper. President leads tributes as Ohaneze leader Nwaya Wood passes on. President leads tributes as Ohaneze leader Nwaya Wood passes on. You can get full details of that story on page 4 of the Nation newspaper this morning. 5 killed in Lagos building collapse. That story there is on page 25. Saying 5 killed in Lagos building collapse, 5 rescued. You can get full details of that story on page 25 of the Nation newspaper this morning. Okay, still from the Nation newspaper, we have this one saying Nigeria's economy growing faster on reform gains, and saying says Edo. Okay, Nigeria's economy growing faster on reform gains. Can get that story there on page 3. It also has some writer here saying the debt service drops from 97% to 68%. Revenue surges. Like I said earlier, the story is on page 3 of the Nation newspaper this morning. And we have this one saying $10 billion lost to crude oil theft in 7 months. $10 billion lost to crude oil theft in 7 months, says Speaker Abbas. You can get full details of that story on page 7 of the Nation newspaper this morning. Okay, and let's check the Vanguard newspaper this morning. The Vanguard newspaper has the banner headline saying protest. No government will condone destruction of lives and property. Protest. No government will condone destruction of lives and property. You can get that story there. Speaking there. That's coming from the president saying no government will condone destruction of lives and properties. You can get that story also has the writer that says Tinubu meets APC governors, monarchs in Aso Rock. Don't allow it to be hijacked or need tells organizers. We will listen to youths. That's coming from Dane of Agbo. Listen to words of wisdom from government, Emir Zazu. Okay, DSS identifies sponsors, warns against action. FCT unavailable for August 1 protest. That's coming from Wiki. We are not part of August 1 protests. TUC, shelf planned protest for sake of economy, Oji Kalu tells youth. You can get full details of all of that story from page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. We have this one saying a billionaire kidnapper untold story of Henry Odenigbo's exploit as Nollywood actor producer. Okay, you can get full details of that story on page 7 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Ohaneze President General Emmanuel Nwaya dies at 81. Ohaneze President General Emmanuel Nwaya dies at 81. That story is on page 11 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Federal government exits ways and means. Federal government exits ways and means debts down 15.7% to $91 billion. That's coming from Edo. You can get full details of that story on page 20 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Alleged sabotage. Senate summons petroleum finance ministers, NNPCL, CBN, NPA, others. Alleged sabotage. Senate summons petroleum finance minister, NNPCL, CBN, NPA, others. That story is on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And we have this one saying 5 die, others injured in Lagos building collapse. 5 dies, others injured in Lagos building collapse. You can get that story from page 6 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And we have this one lastly on the Vanguard newspaper, which is the sports story here saying Super Falcons falter in Olympics opening match. Super Falcons falter in Olympics opening match. That story is on page 48 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And that's all we'll be taking from the headlines this morning. Okay, very soon we'll be reviewing some of these headlines, but then before we do that, we need to pay some bills, and then after which we'll come back and I'll introduce my analyst. Then we analyze some of these stories and together. Do not forget, you also get to be a part of the program when the time comes. You join the conversation. I'll open the phone lines for you to join the conversation, and then you hear your thoughts and opinions as regards some of the things we'll be discussing on the program this morning. Do not go anywhere. It's the News Lens right here on omoluwabi 87.7 FM. We'll be back after this short timeout.
The voice of integrity, omoluwabi 87.7 FM.
At break time, when my champ needs to keep going, he's going to need his favorite snack, made with the goodness of malt, milk, cocoa, and crunchy Niger-grown maize, containing calcium, iron, and fiber.
Break time is crunch time, so give your chance this delicious crunchy delight to keep them winning all day. Milo and a snack of future champions.
Hello?
Hello there. I'm at the hospital right now because the kills are seriously ill. I've been on a long queue and the doctor is here to attend to me. I don't know what to do again.
You know what? How about the numbers I gave you while leaving?
Oh, the e-Dokita numbers?
Yes.
Call them right away. They will attend to you immediately.
Hello?
Darling, just like magic. Junior is playing. Even Princess is eating like an adult.
You know I've told you to calm down. Our family is covered with e-Dokita Premium Plan. With eDokita, you have access to healthcare at your fingertips. Stop wasting your productive hours while waiting in the clinic for doctor. Subscribe today to any of eDokita plans and enjoy online chat and call consult, laser therapy, medical outreach, and home care services. Simply dial 0704-714-2000 or 0701 0008670. Log on to www.edokita.com or visit us at eDokita, number 2 Ocean Street, New Bodija, Ibadan. eDokita, inspiring wellness.
Attention, attention, attention. This is an important public health announcement. A cholera pandemic outbreak has been declared. Cholera is a highly contagious and deadly disease that spreads through contaminated food, water, and human contact. To stay safe, please drink only treated water. Wash your hands frequently with soap and clean water. Avoid raw or undercooked food. Avoid close contact with people showing symptoms. And lastly, get vaccinated immediately. This public service announcement is brought to you by Omoluwabi Radio 87.7 FM. Remember, awareness and prompt action is the key to preventing the spread of cholera.
My sabi people, how una dey? Na sabi people dey listen to Sabi Radio. Omoluwabi Radio 87.7 FM, na dem be Sabi Radio.
You're welcome back. It's still our news lens right here on omoluwabi 87.7 FM. And then this morning we are streaming live on Facebook this morning. We are streaming live on Facebook this morning. You can go on Facebook and search for Omoluwabi 87.7 FM on Facebook. Omoluwabi 87.7 FM. On Facebook this morning, we are streaming live on Facebook and also on YouTube. We are streaming live on YouTube to search for Omoluwabi 87.7 FM. And then we get to read your comments on Facebook this morning if you drop them. Okay, just drop your comments like the streams, and then share to as many people that you can share to this morning. All right, without much ado, like I said earlier, we'll be going straight into the analysis of some of the stories that we have when we come back from the break. And right about now, we're doing just that this morning. I have with me in the studio Professor Wale Akinyemi. Good morning, Prof.
Good morning, Tayo. Happy weekend to all our listeners.
Okay, happy weekend to everyone. And of course, I have with me in the studio this morning Comrade Omoju. Good morning, Comrade.
Many thanks for having me. Good morning, Nigerians.
Okay, I think we still need to talk about this. We've been talking about it for a while now, but then probably we should talk about it very briefly this morning before we check some other stories this morning. It's talking about the planned protest. President met with security chiefs, met with traditional rulers, met with religious leaders yesterday, and then still talking about this protest. And the president said something that's very, very important. He said that he participated in peaceful protests for democracy. And I'm asking this, what's the main purpose of this protest in the first instance? Okay, let's check out some of these headlines this morning as some of these newspapers report them this morning. Saying this one is from the Nigerian Tribune, saying planned protests. DHQ, DSS won against anarchy. Identify sponsors, okay? And then we have this one saying it's an invitation to anarchy. Reign of terror, that's coming from the defense headquarters. Said funding lines are identified, that's coming from the DSS. Says plan afoot to hijack protests, cause chaos. You get that story there from the Nigerian Tribune. That's what I was just want to say. Nigerian traditional rulers meet with Tinubu, plead for peace, patience, or your Lagos government hold security stakeholders meeting. I participated in peaceful protests for democracy. That's coming from the president there, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And that's just with Nigerian Tribune reported that story this morning. Same thing on the Punch newspaper this morning, but in a different version. Yes, saying Tinubu rallies NSC, monarchs as hunger protest looms. President meets APC governors. Oni Sultan decries. Oni Sultan clerics as planned protests gains momentum. Opposition charges Tinubu to address Nigerians. Army DSS allege plot to force regime change. Okay, that story also is from page 2 of the Punch newspaper. You can get the story too from the Nation newspaper and of course the Vanguard. The Guardian also reported that same story this morning. Okay, let me start with this. The president is saying, yeah, he participated in peaceful protests for democracy. But then many are saying, why is the president not? Why doesn't he want this protest to go on? At least people want to let their grievances know that they are not happy at this point in time. Professor Wale Akinyemi, what's your thoughts on that?
Thank you very much, Tayo. Good morning to our listeners around the world. Let me do a little bit of a historical excursion. Nigeria itself is founded on protest. Our founding fathers had to protest against colonial government. And it was after an intensive protest, which at that time was tilted towards the southern part of the country. The British government decided to give government to relinquish the reins of government to Nigerians. And the way they did it, for reasons best known to them, they did it in such a way that a certain section of the country was favored for leadership and the other areas were seriously compromised. The consequences of that is what we are still living with till now. So let's first understand that one.
Okay.
The second thing we must understand is that because of the faulty foundation created by the British, the military quickly took government because what they did was not sustainable, because it was not fair, it was not equitable. But when the military came, what they did was to create a kind of unitary government which is completely antithetical to democracy. So the issue of federalism, which should have been in democracy, we are just mouthing it, we are not actually practicing it. A situation in which you have a commander-in-chief, whatever he says is what is
the final.
Is the final in the country. Unfortunately, it was the civilians that helped the military to perpetuate that dictatorship. Because the ministers of justice, the various attorney generals, and the various ministers were civilians. So anytime we begin to talk about military administration and everything, the civilians themselves were also culpable in bringing Nigeria to the level where we are now. So the Tinubu and co they face the military to make sure that there is a return to civilian rule. So if they didn't protest at that time, probably we still have been dealing with the military for now. So that means that Mr. President himself knows that protest is a tool, a very, very potent tool.
Very strong one.
In democracy, in having a sustainable democracy. But what we are saying right now is that politicians generally, when it favors them, they will say yes, it is democratic. But when it does not favor them, they will now say that no, it is sedition, they are traitors, but then and they call it all sorts of terrible names.
Security apparatus in Nigeria are coming out to say some set of people want to hijack this, and then they are trying to plan down all of these protests based on the fact that they want a change in government. I'm coming to you. But then, Prof, don't you think it's okay, it's well for the presidency to speak this way at this point in time, because he knows some certain set of people want to hijack this protest, and then it's not going to be in favor of him, and it's not going to be a very good one for the country as a whole.
What are the facts on the ground?
But they came out to say, okay,
Nigeria is poorer today. Government is richer. Poverty is on the high level. Our security is in a parlor state. Our economy is in shambles. Meanwhile, the people that are running the system, they are living in luxury. We don't know how much they are earning. Yet they are saying that they have given a tokenism of 70,000 naira and they want Nigerians to celebrate that. So what we are saying is that government itself has created room for protest. If they have done the needful, they will have taken away the sail from the ship of those people who are protesting. That is the truth. But be that as it may, politicians knowing the way they operate and the rest of it, opposition will seize this opportunity. Make no mistake about it. There will be political coloration to the protest.
Okay, Prof, let's go back to 2012. Was there a political coloration in that protest?
Absolutely.
And many people are saying that was the protest that brought in this
issue. It was a gang up against the government of Jonathan. But let me tell you, at that time, the government of Jonathan, did they perform very well too? It was an inept government at that time. So they forced, and that is why Nigerians are regretting, because if we are now in Nigeria now nostalgic and saying that it's even better during Jonathan than what we have now. Isn't that terrible? That means that there is this statement in this lyric that the heroes of the labors of our heroes past should not be in vain. So if people are heroes in the past are laboring, and from what we are seeing, we are not seeing any improvements in the system, that means that labor is in vain.
All right, Komido Moju, you wanted to say something the other time. What's your take from all of this conversation we've been having this morning?
Now, concerning the defense coming in to say that it's a plot to, hijack government or change government, is a call to anarchy and what have you. I can tell you categorically, and I stand to be corrected here, that statement can only come from the oligarchy within the army. The rank and file among the army cannot say that. I'm telling you, because they too are part and parcel of the malfeasance and the issues that we have. Their wives also go to the market to buy, and they pay children's school fees, and they know what they face, to put all of this together. So we are in this country all together. So it's only those, in the top hierarchy of the army who are beneficiaries of, some of the largesse of government that can be saying that, at the moment, this, that. Now, let me come to the issue at stake. President Bola Tinubu should consider himself very lucky. His government should consider itself very, very lucky that there is a filler that is coming in, that there is going to be a protest. What if it's just a spontaneous protest? Because we have seen some spontaneous protest. It's not, planned per se. Something triggered it. Like the Arab Spring in 2011. If I may recall, there was a young man selling somewhere at the Tahrir Square, I think in Tunisia, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, don't sell purple here. All these tax falls and whatever. They just came, through, he scattered. And that was what he was living on, using to fend for his family, despite the economic challenge that they had. So the man felt, what is left for me again? And out of frustration, we're told he set himself ablaze. Yeah. Spontaneous.
people
everywhere. The resentment, the anger that was already bottled, everyone was let loose. And that protest removed 3 presidents in the northern part of Africa. From Tunisia to Egypt, Hosni Mubarak of Egypt, then Muammar Gaddafi of Libya. So that's why I said President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should consider himself lucky that at least he's getting fillers. So what is he now supposed to do? The issue, thank God the planned protest has been tagged. It's been christened hunger protest. What is the issue? Hunger. Are we not hungry? We are. So what are you supposed to do? And I've said time and again on this program, first of all, Mr. President, open that border.
Okay, let's check some other stories this morning. Okay, maybe the government is not doing too bad. Someone is speaking here this morning, that's Minister for Finance. Edon speaking here, say Nigeria records fastest economic growth in 6 years in Q1 of 2024. That's coming from the Minister for Finance there. Says Tinubu's reform yielding results. Federal government maintain focus is federal government main focus is to reduce food prices, just like Comrade Omoju rightly said now, saying they should reduce the prices of food. Government pays 7.3 trillion naira ways and means debts. But then, still that's the story there written. It's also here from the Nation newspaper saying Nigeria's economy growing faster in reform gains, says Edom. Debt service drops from 97% to 68%. Revenue surges. Okay, Prof. Maybe we are not doing badly as we think, but then it's obvious that many are hungry on the street. But then the Minister for Finance has come out to say, in the past, for the past few years now, Nigeria did very well this year. Say for the past 6 years, just in Q1 of 2024, Nigeria has done very well. And saying debt servicing has dropped from 97% to 68%. Maybe, like I said, we are not doing badly, Prof, as a nation.
Nigerians, that the average Nigerian on the street is not interested in all the figures that they are rolling out. We all hear the trillions of naira that have been voted. Why they say that government there should even be a supplement budget and all of that. It is these figures we are hearing. It does not translate to quality life for Nigerians. So as far as I'm concerned, there is no amount of rhetoric from government, especially from the Minister of Finance, who is also the coordinating Minister of the Economy, that can justify the level of poverty that Nigerians are going through. Government is not there to service debt alone. Government is not there to increase revenue alone at the expense of killing their citizens.
But then the minister is saying the main focus of the government is to make sure that they reduce the price of food.
That is to reduce the price of food?
Yeah.
No, that is not. If that is the main focus of government, we will not get to where we are right now. The main focus of government, and I'm not talking about Nigerian government alone, I'm talking about African government generally, is for self-aggrandizement. Majority of the people are there are self-serving people. They are serving themselves and their families alone. And Nigerians are not fooled. They can't put wolves on our eyes. We see the kind of life they live, and we see the kind of life that other Nigerians are living.
Interesting one there. Comrade Omoji, you want to react to that? The Minister for Finance, Wale Edun, has come out to say Nigeria has recorded the fastest economic growth in 6 years in Q1 of 2024. That's coming from Edun there. Says Tinubu's reform yielding results. He also said that the federal government's main focus is to reduce food prices. And say government pays $7.5 trillion, 7.5 trillion naira rather, ways and means debt. That's according to the Nigerian Tribune this morning. And the same story is there also here on the Nation newspaper saying Nigeria's economy growing faster on reform gains, says Edum. Say debt service drops from 97% to 68%. And it says Nigeria revenue has surged high. It has increased in a very drastic way. What's your take on this? Maybe the government is not doing too bad.
Very fantastic figures, wonderful figures. And what do you expect? Somebody has to protect his job against all odds. But truth be told, sincerely speaking, those may not be necessary, because there is no way you can pacify somebody who is dying with, falsehood, if I may put it that way. Somebody is talking about life. You are talking about, hope. You are giving false hope. If you are saying you have certain figures, why are we now still talking about, borrowing, to mend our budget? Only yesterday in the news, the Bureau of Public Enterprise, reeled out how bad the inflation is compared with 2023, just last year. The exponential, increases in prices of items in the market, and sincerely speaking, is worse. You need to get to the market, crate of egg, noodles, spags, basic foods in the market. In fact, there are certain commodities that Nigerians don't even bother to ask about their prices anymore. Things like sardine, geisha, and what have you.
All of those are now luxury for Nigerians.
They don't even bother to ask again, because even the basics are not within the reach.
The basics are not luxury.
Exactly. So you can imagine that level. And just as Prof said, these are things that they even waste in some quarters within the presidency, because they have it in abundance.
How do you know? Maybe you've not been there.
Oh my God! Let's just keep that aside. So it's not just to talk, to assuage people's anger. It's something that we can see, present result. Not just telling us that we have this figure, we have that. If you have that kind of figure, why are you still talking about borrowing? And you can imagine what we have as capital flight in the country. Just talked about the money that has been lost to oil theft.
We are coming to that now, but then let's move on the program this morning. I want to match two stories together as regards that this morning.
Yeah.
Okay. This one saying federal government spends $1.5 billion to protect oil installation in 4 years. That's coming from the SDF. Federal government spends $1.5 billion to protect oil installation in 4 years. That's coming from the SDF. That story is on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. And we now have a story here from the Nation newspaper saying $10 billion lost to crude oil theft in 7 months, says Speaker Abbas. That story is on page 7 of the Nation newspaper. Prof, let's marry these two stories together. The federal government is spending a huge amount of money to protect oil facilities, but then we now have it here that $10 billion has been lost in 7 months due to oil thefts, and then that's coming from the Speaker of House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas. Prof, can you marry these two together?
Well, I will use an analogy which Nigerians can really relate with. I once employed a security man. Somebody wanted to see me. He has been trying to see me, trying to track me down in the office. He couldn't. So this person spoke to my security man that I'd like to see Oga. And the security man, without telling me, told that man that if you arrive this gate at 8 a.m., Oga will come out of the gate and you'll be able to see him. Don't tell him that I'm the one that told you. Just wave him down, if possible prostrate, and he will talk to you. Now you can imagine if that guy was an assassin. So that means that my security man had sold me out. That is the kind of thing that we have in Nigeria here. The people that are stealing our common patrimony are also the people protecting it.
Interesting one there. Comrade Omoji, you want to react to that quickly? We need to go on a break.
Yes, I made a statement here some days ago about certain group of people among the hierarchy of the army that go to the creek, settle some guys there and siphon some. So we have them here. Where is this? Where are these all going? Who now guides the guard in this case? Who guides the guard? So we may not necessarily need all of this money, to protect all of this if we have loyal, committed security agents, manning that sector. But these are the same sort of people that will see the flamboyant life that the organs at the top, and they feel we too are entitled to all of this, whether legally or illegally. And that is the result of this whole thing that we are seeing, in my view.
Interesting one there. Do not forget we are still streaming live on Facebook at omoluwabi 87.7 FM. You can go live to go search us out on Facebook at omoluwabi 87.7 FM. We are streaming live and direct on Facebook. You see us there, and then you can drop your comments, like the post, and then share to as many people you can share to this morning. Before we move on the program, we'll be going on a short commercial break, and when we return, we open the phone lines for you to join the conversation, and probably we'll check one or two more stories before we leave the show this morning. It's still Newslands right here on omoluwabi 87.7 FM. We'll be back after this short timeout.
The voice of integrity, omoluwabi 87.7 FM.
Wait, Mama Comfort, where you dey go? You just dey rush.
Mama John, I won't go open my shop. I need plenty sales today. I won't go market soon.
Mama Comfort, shey you don hear about Omoluwabi Radio 87.7 FM? Then they do advert for businesses where we say your market go sell wara, you sef go dey happy.
You mean am? How I go reach them now?
You fit call them on 090-5339-5550. Then go explain to you wella, and their charge no dey break back.
Mama Comfort, it go better for you now. Omoluwabi Radio, I dey come o.
Omoluwabi 87.7 FM.
I will show you. Junior, don't do that.
Sweetheart, no matter what you do, we show you love. So you can show more love to everyone.
Mom, how do you show more love to everyone? I will show you love.
Show some more love today with 4 more packs of your favorite Indomie noodles in Indomitable and Super Pack cartons. Also, each Indomitable pack is now 200 Naira, while Super Pack is now 350 Naira. So hurry now. Offer valid till stock lasts.
This is calling on all telecom subscribers who are yet to link their national identity number with their SIM to visit the nearest office of their service provider with a valid NIN for verification and linkage, or risk losing the lines permanently. Your service provider will confirm your national identification number in the database of the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, and help recover the bad number after successfully linking your NIN with your SIM. A link will then be sent to you to automatically link your NIN with your phone number. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC.
When it's bright and early, get your breakfast right. Then you need all the nutrients that will hold you tight. Then stay in power, you find it all in peak. Then every move you make, Peak's got you all the way. And the Peak goes on.
Power on every morning with our Peak protein breakfast to make the most of every day. Peak, reach for your peak.
Honey, this meal tastes so good and different. Wait, your meals have been extra delicious lately. Even your fries. Is that something you are not telling me?
Well, it is BBMB oil. It has made my meal taste so good. I now enjoy cooking unlike before. Even you, my husband, is now so happy.
BBMV oil?
Yes, so BBMV oil is so good, pure and non-sticky that it can be used at home and parties for frying, cooking, baking, and lots more. Guess what? I'm even planning to be a distributor with BBMV oil because they supply in small and large sizes for consumers, retailers, and wholesalers, and there are trucks to move items purchased.
Wow, that is so amazing. BBMV Ventures, located at 36 Old Adeoyo Road, Yemetu, Ibadan, and BBMV House, Kilometer 2, New Ikirun Road, beside National Library, Oshogbo. Telephone numbers 0811-581-3819 or 0905-386-5304. BBMV Oil, eat healthy, pay less.
Omoluwabi 87.7 FM. The voice of integrity. Omoluwabi 87.7 FM.
Right here, welcome back. It's still Newslands right here on omoluwabi 87.7 FM, and we've been discussing about some of the various national issues has been reported by the national dailies this morning. And then you can also join the conversation this morning. The studio lines are open 070-4700-7999, 070-4700-7999. Can also call us on 08053888933, 08053888933. Those are the studio lines to call to be a part of the program this morning. Do not forget, you can also drop your comments on Facebook at omoluwabi 87.7 FM. You are currently streaming live on Facebook now at omoluwabi 87.7 FM. You can drop your comments just right there. Okay, let's check out this story coming from the INEC chairman speaking this morning, saying INEC will take over responsibility to conduct local government elections if backed by the law. INEC will take over responsibility to conduct local government election if backed by the law. Prof, should INEC take the responsibility of organizing local government elections?
You know, my position is very clear on this. I've always said it that INEC should be the one that is responsible for election at all levels in Nigeria. So they should take additional, take on that responsibility. But the INEC chairman, I hope he's speaking strictly from a patriotic perspective, because taking over the local government election, the conduct of good local government election means increased revenue for his agency. And increased revenue for his agency means increased largesse for the people that are in that agency. So government, therefore, should do it in such a way that there is prudence, there is accountability, even in taking that decision for INEC to conduct all local government elections.
Okay, I'll come with your take very quickly on that.
And certainly that's where it's going, because if the federal government has succeeded in giving autonomy, in a way to the local government, then you should know that the conduct of the election, the power will be vested on INEC shortly, in no time. That's where it's going.
Interesting one. Let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Your name and where are you calling us from, please?
This is Adrian Kandina.
Okay.
Yeah, and the plan protest. So the plan protest is necessary so as for the federal government to listen to us. And I read online yesterday that the Oyo State government has called on stakeholders.
All right. Hello.
I'm here.
Okay.
So as to provide adequate security for us in the coming process, and it is a good news, just like how they did during the NSAS there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for being a part of the program this morning. We have some comments on Facebook. Let me take some of the Facebook comments we have. This one from Sergio Mayo, Sergio Joseph Maya, rather, saying good morning, Mr. Tayo and other guys in the studio. For me, government is ready for the protest, considering the fact that the government know about the protest, but is not ready to do anything about. But coming out trying to doubt Nigerians with suitable words of lies. You said that, huh? Again, I think the protest is the best option for the masses. Okay, that's your take there. That's Sergeant Maya Joseph's take there as regards the planned protest. Okay, we have this one from Oluwaseun Root saying, "Good morning, Mr. Tayo. The planned hunger protest is the way to go because President Tinubu must know that nothing has been working well since the emergence of his administration due to incompetence." Okay. I will urge the state governments, governors to equip their security agencies with necessary gadgets needed to make their state peaceful, like the way your state government has said that they will equip all their security agencies to ensure peace during the protest. Okay, we have this one coming from Olufisayo Larinwaju. Good morning, Tayo. Good morning to you too, sir. This morning. Okay, you two can drop your comments. Let's the conversation keep going on Facebook, but then we need to leave the studio this morning. Prof, your parting shots this morning.
Nigeria belongs to all of us, even though some people pretend as if they are no more Nigerian than the others. We should protest with a high sense of responsibility. We should not become vandals. We should not destroy government property. And there is nothing personal about this. What people in Nigeria are saying is that they want better governance, and Nigerians deserve it. Like we always say, Nigerians don't deserve, they don't ask for too much. They are asking for the fundamentals. Let government listen, and where government is listening, let them respond positively.
All right, Komido Moji, your take very quickly, your parting shots.
You know, I told you some time ago, a cousin of mine that traveled to the UK, and when I saw him, I said, you can be this fresh, you can be this fat. And he said, well, over there, food is virtually nothing. So if Nigerians are planning to protest because of hunger, then any responsible government should see it as a wake-up call and do all it can to ensure that this is averted. Because it's embarrassing that why are these people protesting? They are protesting because they are hungry. So I urge President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to do something drastic concerning the plight of Nigerians regarding food prices in the market.
Okay, some are saying funny, but then it's just a bit true that we need to do the needful at this point in time. Do not forget, you also have a role to play in nation building. It's not just about the government, it's about you and I, it's about all of us as a nation, it's about us as citizens of Nigeria. We all have a role to play in developing Nigeria, making Nigeria great again. So anything you do, do it responsibly, do it as a patriotic citizen. Don't with not with violence or with any of that. We can't just allow our nation to run into chaos at this point in time. All right, I'll be leaving the studio now, but then to leave room for Jonathan Ibileke, who will be taking us on into the world of sports with the program Sport Rave right here on Omoluwabi 7.7 FM. Right after which Kakaki Rowing will be coming up on board next. After which some other interesting and great content will be coming your way this morning from Omoluwabi 7.7 FM. All right, till Monday we'll meet again. My name is Oluwatayo Ajiwale. Okay, join Stephen Adedigba on the program, The Discourse, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. tomorrow on The Discourse. Stephen Adedigba is going to bring you some of the current national issues and discuss them too tomorrow. Till Monday, my name is Oluwatayo Ajiwale, urging you to please enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.